Hi everyone, delonewolf here and welcome to EVE Talk, your weekly look at the EVE Online markets. And this is the first one in 3 weeks time because of my vacation, and it's also the first one in the new hangar. So even here in the captain's quarters over there on the right, on the left side of my character, you can see the ships flying through. That's a pretty cool update. I really like it, and it's actually my first time in a Caldari station, so there we go. Looks pretty cool. Anyway, let's move on towards the chair where we'll have our quick look at the market. I'm curious to see what Plex has been doing. I'm also a bit curious as to why the Kenosis is so low, because I've actually been able to buy 2 extra of those, and I have a few questions to answer as well. Someone asked to check out a few resources that I'm actually totally not familiar with, so we'll have a look. But first of all, let's start off with the minerals as always, because mining should be getting a hit with EVE Online Odyssey. And let's have a quick look for titanium then at prices in station 549 for 546. I think that's, yeah, there definitely a dip a few weeks ago with the announcement of those. Oh, look at that 5-day moving average, actually a real big dip from, I would say, 5.75 almost to 5 ISK, but then it's come back a little bit, probably a normal correction. But yeah, lower mineral prices definitely for titanium because of the changes coming in Odyssey, where, as you know, some of the low-sec and null-sec asteroids are going to get a much larger share of these high-sec minerals, such as titanium, pyrite and mexallon, which is what most high-seckers end up with. So pyrite, pretty much the same. You can also see that same dip right around the announcement, and then a slow downtrend below 14 ISK now, which it wasn't before my holiday. And prices in Jita station are actually 1350, 1359, something like that, 1336 for the sellers. So yeah, quite a bit of pressure there. Let's have a look at mexallon, which was already dropping, and once again you can see that same drop here in mexallon, which continues to go down towards 40 ISK, and I wouldn't be surprised that it's gonna reach that at some point by the time the expansion hits. So 45 ISK for mexallon, 45.01 and 45.12 for the sellers, so no margin whatsoever. Definitely the market is moving in sync on this. Nobody's speculating on a rise anymore, and minerals are continuing to drop. So yeah, bad news for high-sec miners. I've been doing just a little bit of mining to check it out and to chill a bit, to check some other stuff out. And I have to say, with Scordite, I can still get a full load of Mackinac to be valued at around 6 million ISK. But really, when you're looking at titanium, you're just looking at above 5 million. That's a serious drop in effectiveness of high-sec mining at the moment, and with the changes in Odyssey, it's not looking like that's gonna change anytime soon. So yeah, if you have a mining empire, this can definitely mean some problems. For me personally, I'm planning to switch a bit more towards exploration. At this point, maybe I'll have a quick look at the Tech 1 chips then, yeah, the Drake and stuff. Similar drop, correction of 5-day moving average, but still 20-day moving average slowly moving, keeping a downtrend. I would expect it as well that Tech 1 chips might know a correction because of these changes. The increased supply basically in minerals should mean some cheaper Tech 1 chips with Odyssey as well, and definitely in the Drake chart this is mirrored as well, where the 5-day moving average dropped well below 50 million, although prices are probably hanging on right around that point. 51,299, not too bad. 49 for the sellers. Let's have a look at a larger ship like the Maelstrom. 201 in station 193. Is that pretty much flat? Yeah, with a small downtrend. Pretty interesting 5-day moving average. Tops right there, so might have been some trade money to have been made in the Maelstrom while I was away. So that's it for the Tech 1 ships and the minerals, which is really pretty important, mostly for the high-sec guys. And yeah, the general trend is down because of the changes in Odyssey. A bit of a punishment really for the guys that like the safety of high-sec. Definitely gonna be a hit to their effectiveness. So maybe I'll move on now to the requests. So I had a request for neocomms. Might be a bit later than what the person was expecting, but alright, I'll have a quick look at that. So these are planetary materials, specialized commodities. So I'm assuming it's PI stuff, not 100% sure. It seems to have been dropping lately. From April on, went from, pretty hard to tell, but I'd say around 75k to below 50k. Prices in Jita Station are now at, ouch, 42k for the lowest sell order. That's really pretty low, even compared to that chart. So yeah, that's neocomms. Maybe let's have a quick look then at neodymium, something like that. Yep, which was requested as well. That's a moon mineral. Let's see what that one's doing on the chart. Interesting one as well. It's known a top in February. Downtrend generally since then, but still on the 1 year chart pretty high, with a lot of speculation with ups and downs here. As you can see on the 5-day moving average chart, current price in Jita 60,000 for the sellers, 49,000 for the buyers, which is actually not too bad a margin either. For a trade good, this could be pretty interesting as well. Just look at these tops. There's definitely some money to be made with correct buy and sell orders as well. For neodymium, which it's a moon mineral, but I'm not completely familiar with all of that. Phono something is the final one. Well, it's something with composites, so let's see if I can find it that way. Composites, which again sounds moon mineral like. There we go. Probably this phenolic composites, which is again, yeah, moon material. A completely different chart. Pretty amazing jump here actually, from 700 to above 900, almost 1000, and some interesting data points. So that's definitely some speculation that's been going on concerning the changes in moon minerals. Prices currently $856 sellers, $826 for the buyers. But yeah, what I noticed was that we had a general a very slow downtrend after October. Yeah, from October on, and that we had a huge jump up right here at this point, and maybe on the 3-month chart I'll be able to see around April 28th. So I'm not familiar enough with moon mineral stuff to be able to tell you what exactly is behind that, but that's the state of these 3 materials which were requested by one of my viewers. I hope you have something about this, and I definitely think this neodymium seemed pretty interesting as a trade opportunity. I'll have a look at technetium right now as well in that same vein, which, whoa, look at that chart, 1 year chart from 200k with data points to 20k. That's cutting the price by 10. That's just incredible. 33,000 for the sellers, 29,000 for the buyers. Technetium has lost its supremacy in the moon mineral material. That is something that I do know from the FanFest talk. They want to switch it, the most valuable aspects of moon mining away from technetium, and I think it's back to some what are they called, R64 moons or something like that mine some other kinds of moon minerals. Could be some of these that I just showed you, but like I said, unfortunately I'm not all that familiar with it. But yeah, at a few points right there when it was low and hanging on at 80k, I said maybe you might consider stocking up on that. Would have been extremely bad advice. Look at how big a hit technetium has received, and this also going to be a huge hit for some of the nullsec alliances to their passive income as well. Anyways, there you go. I guess that covers moon minerals, nullsec stuff, and the requests. Let's move on to the Tech 2 ships. I'll go straight to the command ships. So battle cruisers, advanced command ships. because I'm looking at this from a trade perspective. Absolution going down, not enough variation for me. Damnation, look at that big spike on the 5-day moving average while I was away. If you had bought some here at the low points, you could have had definitely some good deals there. We're talking about probably 210 to 260 million, a quick 50 million ISK potentially for some damnation trade. Doesn't sound too bad for every ship. Nighthawk looks like a pretty good chart here as well. Look at that jump up in 5-day moving average with a few tops before that. I'd say almost a 180 to 220 million ISK band, so not that bad, not as good as the damnation, but not bad. Vulture too stable in my opinion. Astarte could become a buying opportunity here. Look at that downward trend. Definitely you have some spikes here as well, moving in general from the 200 to 240 to 50 million ISK band. So yeah, could be trade worthy as well. EOS, that's a very nice looking 5-day moving average. Look at that, up way up to 260 million, way back down to 220, and you have some data points coming in at around 200 even. So that's, I'd say, the 200 to 260 million ISK band, general trend downward. I'd probably be looking at buying a couple EOSs and then selling them at around 240 at the moment. Claymore, not as pronounced, although there are some tops. I'd say, yeah, maybe on the medium term, but I wouldn't be so sure about putting money in the Claymore market for trade opportunities, and the Sleipnir, I'm sorry, just looking too stable for me right there. So yeah, that's I'm currently looking at the command ships for trade opportunities in the Tech 2 market. Yeah, that was a look at that. Not all of them are trade worthy, but some interesting charts in my opinion. So let's move on then to melted nanoribbons for Tech 3. After the rise comes the correction. And right now it seems to be going for a more stable following right here, with the 5-day moving average moving up and down from below the 20-day moving back up. And I wouldn't be surprised that the current price is the new market average. So 5.7 million for sellers, 5.4 million for buyers. I think we'll be looking at that price band for now. As I don't expect any big changes at the moment. So yeah, pretty interesting rise. Some people might have had a good opportunity to buy right here at that bottom, and if you could then sell during that rise, you'd have made a pretty good deal. But we're looking at the end of the correction at the moment for the melted nanoribbons. I'll have a quick look at the low key. Still generally very low on a 1-year chart, and maybe the Tengu as well. Yeah, trying to hold on. All of them are trying to hold on, but on the 1-year average, we're seeing pretty damn low prices for Tech 3 ships at the moment. Galente fuel blocks, that's gonna be interesting. Yeah, CCP changed ice mining, so that big change did not come to POSes, but to the ice mining mechanic. And look at that incredible rise from almost 12,000 at some point to 18 to 20,000 almost. Market has settled down around 16,000 ISK for sellers at the moment, coming from 12,000. That's 1/3 increase in not a lot of time. So on this one, you know, with Technetium, I would have been wrong to say go and invest a little bit at these bottom prices. On Galente fuel blocks, I would have been right. You know, if you had been able to buy it 13k, a nice stock of Galente fuel blocks, you'd have made an incredible deal. And as we all know, this is because the ice mining is going to change from there's as much ice as you want to it's going to be quite limited to some anomalies. So pretty interesting. It's going to be interesting. I don't think this price is settled quite yet. These are just the primary speculators that have come in and boosted up the price because of the expected changes, but all of these are probably investments that have pushed up the price, and I do expect that we'll have to wait and see a little bit to the actual impact of Odyssey in the weeks after its launch before we can really say what the consensus is going to be on its impact on fuel blocks. But yeah, you know, the bottom prices, they are gone already. The investors have made their moves, and at this point I do expect we'll see a pretty much a flat at the current price of 16.3k, a flat price until EVE Odyssey launches. And then finally we'll have a quick look at the Plex, which is finally on a visible upward trend right there. It broke 520 million. Let's have a look at prices in Jita Station. 532 for the sellers, 518 for the buyers, so pretty big margin right there, back to almost 14,000, 13, 14,000, 14 million ISK, which is a normal healthy margin for a rising Plex prices. So it's going to be interesting to see if it can keep going up towards the expansion and after the expansion, and whether or not we'll see this summer correction. I'm not looking to sell at the moment, but yeah, if like me you've managed to buy 7 Plex at below 500 million, you're already looking at an easy 250 million ISK profit right there. But I expect the uptrend to keep going the closer we come to EVE Odyssey and Draft. Right after his launch. I wouldn't be surprised for a limited correction during the summer, a slow limited correction during the summer, but I am also expecting the big spike to come next winter once again. So that's it for this EVE talk, guys. I hope this can be helpful, and I look forward to covering the markets once a week again now that my holiday is over. See you guys next time.